The village of Umuoba always woke with laughter. Children ran with buckets, goats bleated in the grass, and the sun spilled golden light across the thatched roofs. In the heart of the village stood a round stone well. Its water was the sweetest anyone had ever tasted. People said even strangers remembered its taste for years. On this particular morning, Zainab skipped along the path, her yellow bucket swinging. Her best friend Chiké raced beside her. "First to the well wins," he shouted. Zainab laughed and pushed faster, dust rising from her bare feet. She always lost to Chiké's long legs, but she loved the game. At the well, Bobaton leaned on his staff. His beard was long and white, like soft cotton. He had guarded the well since before Zainab's mother was born. He always spoke gently, as if his words were meant for the water too. "Good morning, my children," he said. "Good morning," Bobaton, Zainab and Chiké chorused. Zainab peered into the dark circle. "Hello, sweet water," she whispered. Bobaton chuckled. "Oh, Zainab, water here's respect. That is why it stays kind." The children drew a bucket. Chiké scooped a cup and sipped. It is sweet like rain," he said. Zainab tasted too. "Perfect," she sighed. But then the air changed. A dry wind swept the square, carrying dust and silence. Bobaton's eyes narrowed. "The dry season has woken," he said softly. "Be kind to the well. Do not waste water." The children nodded and ran home with their buckets, not knowing the well was about to change forever. By evening, panic echoed through the village. "The water is bitter," someone cried. "It smells like rotten shoes," shouted another. "Look, it's brown like mud." People coughed and spat the water onto the ground. Mothers clutched their babies. Fathers frowned. Even the animals refused to drink. Bobaton hurried to the well and leaned over, his face pale. He stared into the brown liquid and shook his head. "This is not natural," he whispered. But the crowd had already begun to whisper among themselves. "Maybe the old man has angered the gods. Maybe he cursed the well himself. His time is finished. He has failed us." Zainab clutched Bobaton's hand. "Don't listen." "I believe you, Grandpa," she said. The old man smiled weakly, but his eyes were wet with sadness. That night, Zainab lay awake. The moon shone through her small window. She heard crickets and frogs, but no laughter from the streets. Hugging her blanket, she prayed in a trembling voice. "Please, let our water be fine again." The night whispered back, "Hush, hush, hush." The next morning, the well was worse. The water stank. Women groaned as they poured it into basins. Children cried with thirst. The market was quiet, even the akara Momakemi fried had no song. At midday, the villagers gathered in the square. Chief Okafor climbed onto a stool, dressed in a shining red cap and gold bracelets. He raised his arms. "Do not fear," he shouted. "I will save you. I have big tanks of water in my compound. You may buy from me. Very clean, very safe, very cheap." Some clapped weakly, but Zainab noticed his bracelets flashing like new coins. She saw his smile, a smile too greedy for comfort. At the edge of the crowd stood Ao, a shy boy with round eyes. Beside him was his goat, Kofi, tugging at a rope. Kofi chewed on something, a white sack. "Oh, Kofi. Stop." Ao scolded, pulling the sack away. It smelled of cement. On it, in bold letters, were the words, "Okafor Holdings, built strong, built fast." Ao's heart thumped. He glanced at Zainab. She caught his eye. Chiké leaned closer. He muttered. The children slipped to the back of the well. There, on the ground, they saw white sand, sharp and strange, not from their village. Where did this come from? Zainab asked. Ao pointed toward the distant hills. From there. My uncle told me men carry sacks at night near the spring. Bobaton joined them quietly. He bent, touched the sand, smelled it, and nodded. This comes from the mountain spring, he whispered. That spring feeds our well. If it is blocked, the well becomes angry. Zainab's chest tightened. Then we must go to the spring. Tonight. Bobaton shook his head. It is far. It is dangerous. But Zainab's eyes shone. We will be careful. He studied the children, brave eyes, steady hands, strong hearts. Slowly, he nodded. Very well. Follow the moon. Listen to the night. And never walk alone. The moon rose like a silver drum in the sky. Crickets chirped. Palm trees swayed. Zainab tied her wrapper tight. Chak wrapped cloth around his head. Ao carried a lantern. Kofi refused to stay behind, bleating until they let him come. The path to the hills was steep and dusty. Stones cut their feet, but they walked on. They heard owls hoot, smelled the cool breath of water in the air. Then they froze. Voices. Rough, low voices. Metal clinked. The children crouched behind a rock. Zainab peeped. 3 men were digging. They pushed a big pipe into the ground, sealing it with a heavy lock. A wooden sign leaned against the rock, property of Chief Okafor. Zainab's heart raced. Chak bit his lip. Ao squeezed Kofi's rope tightly, praying the goat wouldn't bleat. The men laughed. Tomorrow, more water for the chief's tank. People will pay well, one said. They stamped the ground, then walked away. Silence returned. The children crept forward. Ao held the lantern near the lock. Numbers gleamed on it, 431. Looks like a code, whispered Chak. Zainab thought hard. Chief Okafor always bragged about his birthday, March 14th. 314. Try it, she said. Ao turned the lock. Click. It opened. They pulled the pipe aside and lifted a wooden door. Cool air rushed out. Beneath, a spring bubbled, clear, sweet, alive. The children gasped. The well was innocent. The spring was trapped. They didn't break anything. They only gathered proof. A sack with Chief Okafor's name. A piece of pipe. A photo of the lock and the words, property of Chief Okafor. They carefully replaced the pipe, pretending nothing was touched. The moonlight guided them home. It seemed to smile. By morning, the square was crowded. Mothers begged for water. Babies wailed. Chief Okafor stood on his stool again, waving a glass of his tank water. Come, buy. Very safe, very clean, very cheap, he shouted. Zainab stepped forward, her knees trembling. Bobaton stood beside her. Chak at her left, Ao at her right, holding Kofi. Chief Okafor, Zainab called loudly, "Where did you get your water?" He smacked. "From my kindness, little girl. From my big tank." "From the spring," Zainab said firmly. "From the spring that belongs to us all." The crowd gasped. Chief Okafor laughed. "Do not lie, child." Zainab raised the sack, Okafor Holdings. She raised the pipe. Then she showed the photo with the lock, the code, and the words, property of Chief Okafor. Silence fell like a hammer. Gasps erupted. "Oh. You. Huh." Chief Okafor stammered, sweat rolling down his face. The glass slipped from his hand. Bobaton lifted his staff. His voice rang clear. "Our fathers planted palm trees for all, not for one man's greed. Water is life. No one owns life. Why did you lock it away?" Chief Okafor looked down, ashamed. "I was afraid," he mumbled. "Then I saw money. I forgot my people. Zainab's small voice cut through. You can still do right. Open the spring. Together. The crowd roared agreement. The entire village marched to the hills. Elders, mothers, fathers, children. Drums beat. Dust rose. At the hidden door, Zainab showed the lock. She pressed 314. Click. It opened again. Cool air kissed their faces. The spring gushed happily. Together, they removed pipes, rolled sacks away, and unblocked the stones. Carpenters placed clean rocks to guide the flow. Mothers planted trees around it. Children fetched buckets to carry water back. By evening, the well's water sparkled once more, clear as glass, sweet as rain. Mama Kemi boiled akara. The oil hissed joyfully. She tasted it and shouted, "It sings again." The people danced. Drums echoed. Children splashed. Bobaton lifted Zainab's hand high. The well is not angry, he said. It was only hungry for truth. Chief Okafor removed his red cap, bowed low, and joined the walk. A week later, the elders announced a celebration. They called it the Festival of Buckets. Every family washed and decorated their buckets. Children painted waves and fish. Mothers tied ribbons. Fathers carved small hearts. At night, Bobaton told the story by firelight. He gave Zainab a silver whistle. If trouble comes again, he said, blow this. The water watch will answer. But one night, strangers returned with another truck. They tried to lay new pipes. Zainab blew the whistle. Lanterns lit up the hills. Elders, mothers, youths, even Kofi the goat charged forward. The intruders fled, leaving their tools behind. From then on, no one dared touch the spring. Chief Okafor, humbled, promised a new water tank for the village, open, free, and shared. The council wrote rules. 1. No one owns the spring. 2. A water watch guards it daily. 3. Take only what you need. 4. Every family plants trees yearly. 5. Problems are solved at the evening drum circle. The rules were hung in the square. Children learned them like songs. At sunset, Zainab filled her cup and drank slowly. It tastes like rain, she said. Chak nodded. Eo smiled. Bobaton wiped a joyful tear. The well hummed softly. It was no longer angry. It was alive, because truth had been set free. Water is life, but truth is even stronger. What would you have done if you were Zainab? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe to Tales by P, and watch till the end for more powerful African stories.